In 2.18, it is given consider a symmetrical square wave 20 volt peak to peak, 0 average and 2 millisecond period applied to a Miller integrator. Find the value of time constant RC such that the triangular waveform at the output has a 20 volt peak to peak amplitude. Okay, so the input is given 20 volt peak to peak, means from here to here it should be 20 volt, and 0 average means my A naught value, that is the 0 average. It means whatever the value that is in upper part, same amplitude will be in the lower part. So since this is top to bottom, it is 20 volt peak to peak, means this is 10 volt, this is 10 volt, and this is the 0 average, and it is given the time period is 2 millisecond, and it is a square wave. So if you will include all those points, 20 volt peak to peak, 0 average and 2 millisecond time period, then you will get a waveform like this. Okay, so it is applied to an integrator. Miller integrator is nothing but our simple integrator. So integrator means a resistor is the input side, at the feedback a capacitor is connected. So what is the output? Output for an integrator is nothing but minus 1 by RC integration 0 to t V input t dt. Okay, so what is the V input for first 0 to 1 millisecond and for 1 to 2 millisecond? You see, this is it is given output is nothing but 20 volt. Output is 20 volt, that is minus 20 volt, 10 to 10, that is minus 20, that is 1 by RC integration 0 to 1. I am taking only for this portion 0 to 1. So this is 0 to 1 10 dt. So that is 1 by C 10 into for t if I will put 0 to 1 millisecond, that is nothing but 1 millisecond minus 0 millisecond, because upper limit minus lower limit. So what will the value of RC? This minus both will cancel out. RC is nothing but 10 upon 20 into 1, which is nothing but 0.5 millisecond. Okay, because why it is I am taking here minus 20? This is the output, it is a triangular waveform, because we know for a square waveform the integration of square is nothing but triangular, means for this step it is ramp, and for the negative step this is the ramp. Okay, so it is the minus 20 volt, that is at output, that is at 1 millisecond, 0 to 1 millisecond, that is the negative ramp. That's why I have taken 0 to 1 for this this graph. For 0 to 1 millisecond, this is the graph, and this is the limit is minus 20 volt, that is the voltage for output, and 0 to 1, this is the value of 10 dt, that is the input signal 10 dt. Okay, in the 2.19 it is given, it is a circuit applied to a Miller integrator. This is the resistor, this is the capacitor, and for the inverting integrator our R, that is given as 10 kilo ohm, and we know what is the time constant for integrator, 10 power minus 3 second. Okay, so since our R is 10 kilo ohm, what will be the value of C, which is nothing but 10 power minus 3 upon 10k, that is 0.1 microfarad. And then it is asked what is the transfer function. This transfer function is not in your syllabus for now, but I did it, even though there are some 2 to 3 other questions are there at the last, those are based upon this transfer function. Okay, so you can leave those questions, transfer function questions. So for transfer function, which is nothing but V out upon V input, which is nothing but minus 1 by j omega RC, because we have to convert this C into J form, J omega C form, this is R, this is, we have to convert this both into impedance form. Okay, and then only we will get V out upon V input, then we will find the mod, means the magnitude, and then we will find the angle. So this is the second type of question, but this is not in your syllabus, so you can omit this one. 2.25, that is also a Miller integrator, but along with the capacitor a RF, that is a feedback resistor is connected. So I left that question because that is not required for now in your, that is not there in your syllabus. So next 2.6 question, 2.6, it is given, and the question is on your screen. It is given the two wires leading from an output terminal of a transducer pick up in the interference signal 60 Hz 1 volt sinusoid. So our VCM, that is a common mode signal, that is nothing but 1 volt amplitude sine omega t, omega means 2 pi into f, and frequency is given 60 Hz, so that's why 60 t. So I would know our common mode signal is nothing but half V1 plus V2, and then the given the differential output is nothing but 0.01 sine 2 pi 1000 t, because it is given a 1000 Hz frequency, so it is the 1000 f 2 pi f t, and this is the amplitude. 10 millivolt means 0.01. Okay, you see what is 10 millivolt, 10 into 10 power minus 3, that is nothing but 10 power minus 2, that is nothing but 0.01. So this is the amplitude, this is the frequency. So differential signal is nothing but V1 minus V2. So if I want to find the V1 and V2, we know our V2 is nothing but VICM plus VID upon 2, and our V1 is nothing but VCM minus VD upon 2. This is plus, this is minus. Similarly, if you will add the two signal, you will get V2. If you will subtract the two signal, you will get V1. Okay. In 2.9 it is given a particular inverting circuit uses an ideal op-amp that to 10 kilo ohm resistor. What closed loop gain would be expected if a DC voltage of 1 volt is applied to the input? What output result if the 10 kilo ohm resistor said to be 1% resistor? That is the range that the tolerance level is given. So according to the nominal value, tolerance level is given. So what range of output would we expect to actually measure for the input of precisely of 1 volt? Since it is an inverting amplifier and it is 10 kilo ohm resistor given, so what will be the closed loop? What is the inverting amplifier circuit diagram? This is negative, this is positive. This is RF, this is R1, and this is the input given. So V out upon V input, that is the inverting amplifier gain, which is nothing but minus RF by R1. And since both are 2 kilo ohm 10 kilo ohm resistor minus RF by R1, this value will give me minus 1 volt per volt. Okay. So it means my V output is nothing but minus V input. This is the closed loop gain. So when it will become V output will become minus 1, it is given in question that our V input is 1 volt. Okay, DC voltage of 1 volt means this is the input voltage. So our V output is nothing but minus 1 volt. Now it is given what will be the change in closed loop gain. This G if our nominal value ranges from plus minus 1%. It means whatever the value of R2 by R1, this is the gain, minus R2 by R1 or minus RF. This is nothing but RF. This is also RF. So minus RF by R1 with nominal values, minimum values, minus RF by R1 with maximum values. A similar question we did for differential amplifier, that is R4 by R3 and R2 by R1. Similarly for G, minus R2 by R1, here also minus R2 by R1. Okay, so this value is 10, this value 10, and the 1 minus 0.01, it is 0.09, and 1 plus 0.01, 1 plus 1.01. So at the left side you will get minus 0.98, at the right side you will get 1.02. Okay, so this is the gain. And if you will apply a V input of 1 volt again, then this is G, which is nothing but V out upon V input. And since this is 1 volt, this 1 volt is multiplied in both sides. What will be our output? Our output will vary from minus 0.98 to minus 1.02. Okay. (2.11) is the simplest one. Two resistors are given, same formula R1 and R2 or RF that is given. You have to find the inverting amplifier gain, which is nothing but minus RF by R1. So if I put minus RF by R1 and for each value of RF and R1 is given, you will get the gain. For different 5 inputs, my gain will be minus 1, minus 10, minus 0.1, 100, minus 100 or minus 10. Okay. In the next question it is that we have to design an inverting amplifier whose closed loop gain should be minus 100, input resistance of 1 kilo ohm is connected. Since it is a inverting amplifier, our gain which is nothing but minus R2 by R1, and this value is given minus 100 volt per volt, and input resistance that is equal to R1. We know for our inverting amplifier input resistance is R1, that is 1 kilo ohm. So what will be the value of R2? Our R2 is nothing but this minus will cancel out. There will be no more minus. So R2 value is nothing but 1000. This is 100 into 1k, that is 100 kilo ohm. Okay. And in the second part it is asked, if a op-amp is known to have a open loop gain of 2000 volt per volt, what do we expect the closed loop gain? In this case it is the open loop gain, no influence of A in this question. But in the second part it is given a open loop gain is 2000 volt per volt. We have to find the closed loop gain, and this is the gain for inverting amplifier with the influence of open loop gain. We have also read detail in non-inverting and inverting both terminal what is the effect of open loop gain on the closed loop gain. We know the V output upon V input is nothing but minus R2 by R1, 1 plus R2 by R1 divided by A. We know our R2 by R1 value, that is nothing but minus 100, 1 plus this is 100 plus 1, which is nothing but 101 divided by a gain, that is nothing but 1000. Sorry, it is given 2000 and gain is 2000. So if you put all those values, you will get your value output. And the third part it is asked that a value of resistor that you can place in parallel with R1. So okay, that part, the third part is not required, that's why I have not answered this third part. Okay. So in 2.32 given it is an ideal op-amp, and we have to find the value of I1, I2, I3 and IL. Okay. So you see a 1 voltage is applied, here a 10 kilo ohm resistor is connected. Op-amp will not draw any current. This voltage is nothing but 0 volt because it is grounded. Since this is 0 volt, according to virtual ground concept, this is also 0 volt. So whatever the current that is coming, which is nothing but 1 volt minus 0 volt upon 10k. So this is our I1, which is nothing but 1 volt minus 0 volt upon 10k, which is 0.1 milliampere. Since op-amp will not draw any current, our I1, which is same as I2. Okay, so our I1 equal to I2, that is equal to 0.1 milliampere. Now come to this node at Vx. At this node, this is 0 voltage, this is 0 voltage. It means this voltage is same as this voltage. It means my I2 into 100 kilo ohm, which is same as I3 into 100 ohm. We know the value of I2. So if I'll put a value of I2 as 0.1 milliampere, I will get my I3 as 10 milliampere. Okay, now a 0.1 milliampere coming from this direction and a 10 milliampere coming from this direction, both are combining and going for a result of IL. So my IL, which is nothing but sum of these two, this is nothing but 10 milliampere plus 0.1 milliampere. So in the next question, okay, here it is given the IL value is 10.1 milliampere, but in the first part it is what is Vx. So what is Vx? Our Vx is nothing but the current into resistance. Okay, either you multiply this into this or this into this. So I3 is nothing but 10 into 100 ohm. So 10 milliampere into 100 ohm, that is nothing but 1 volt. Okay, in the B part it is asked what is the value of IL. IL equal to 10.3 milliampere, and if V0 is not to be lower than minus 13, find the maximum allowable voltage of RL. So since V0, that is the maximum, V0 value is given minus 13, it should not go below that. So our Vx, that we found 1 volt. So 1 volt equal to RL. RL value is not there. We have to find the value of RL, and IL we found 10.1 plus V0. So what will be the value of RL? 1 minus V0 upon 10.1 milliampere. So it is asked find the maximum value. So when this value will maximum? If my V output will be minimum. So V output minimum, which is nothing but minus 13, that is 1 minus or minus 13, means 1 plus 13 upon 10.1, that is equal to IL. So I will get a load RL maximum value 1.386 kilo ohm. Okay. In the third part it is asked if a load is varied from a range 100 ohm to 1 kilo ohm, what is the corresponding change in IL and in V output? We know from this equation, if our RL that is varied from 100 ohm to 1 kilo ohm, then our output, this output, which is nothing but Vx minus RL IL. So Vx minus RL IL. So there will be two values of RL. One is 100 ohm, one is 1 kilo ohm. So if I will put, I will get one minimum value of RL. At minimum value of RL, I will get a maximum output. And at a maximum value of RL, I will get a minimum output. Because this part is subtracted from 1. Okay. In the last question, it is given 2.49. It is given, we have to derive an expression for the voltage gain V out upon V input for the circuit. We have to find V out upon V input. Okay. Now, you see, this is the voltage Vp. So what is Vp? It is a main supply source. It is the two resistors. So a voltage divider rule will be applied. V1 into R4 by R3 plus R4. That we got Vp. And because of virtual short circuit, our Vp equal to Vn equal to same. That is V1 into R4 upon R3 plus R4. Okay. So this is Vn or Vp. Now what will be the current that is flowing from here? That same current will flow through this because op-amp will not draw any current. So V0 minus Vn upon R2, that current is same as V0 minus 0 upon R1. This is the V0 minus Vn upon R2 equal to V0 minus 0 upon R1. From here you solve, you will get V0 value, which is nothing but Vn into R2 upon R1. Then this Vn will come to this side plus Vn. It will become 1 plus R2 by R1 into Vn, because it will act as a non-inverting op-amp. For non-inverting, what is the gain? V out is nothing but 1 plus R2 by R1 into input. What is the input? Which is nothing but the input present over here. Now, what is V out upon V input? This is Vp or Vn. Then what is input? Which is nothing but 1 plus R2 by R1. That is the for this path. Multiplied by this resistor. Okay, R4 by R4 into R3. So what we will get? 1 plus R2 by R1 into R4 by R4 plus R3 into V out input. Okay. So this is all about the number of assignment that is given. So out of this 21 assignment, last 3 questions that is not required for you at this moment, because those are based upon the transfer function. So till that point, this is all.